G'day viewers, all today I'm going to have a go at repairing some speaker cones. This one here is in a little bit worse for wear. This came with this head unit, which is out of my KE35 Corolla. The problem with the car is that I think it might be too far gone. The bodywork's rusted to crap and water leaks through all the window seals, especially the rear window seal, and water's actually got in, drained down the parcel shelf, and the water's run through and filled up here in both the speakers. This one is a little bit worse because it hasn't got holes like this one here has for the water to drain out. This one, the water sat in when it rained and rusted up the magnet and discoloured the centre dust cap there over the voice coil. But amazingly the speaker still moves and works freely, no rattles in the voice coil, just the suspension is the only thing I hear the rattles coming from. As you can see with this speaker, it has holes in the middle, which is a good thing in the way that the water didn't sit there and accumulate. It made a mess, but it had somewhere to get out. And I've also tried just redneck patching tears in the speaker cone with some very flimsy grade black paper. What you do, you get some wood glue, mix that with a bit of water and get a good runny consistency going. Dip your patch in the water, brush it, and you gently brush it on over the speaker cone, and that will act as a patch to repair the tear in your speaker cones. Suspension roll, I can get some silicone and smear it over, but I don't have any clear grade silicone. I've only got grey silicone, so it's going to look like crap, but hopefully the silicone will act as a good rubber, will actually support all that suspension, and the rubber be sort of like rubberizing it, so it's got some good flex. I don't know what brand this one is, but I think it might have been a replacement. Could be a Roller or AWA or something, judging by the styling of the holes in the basket here. I think it's a 4 ohm impedance. I'm probably about 5 or 10 watt. This one's a Magnavox, made in Australia. This is a 4 ohm impedance. Doesn't say what wattage, but there's a date 8th 1976, and it's got 75B written on it as well. So C75036 607/4 18F6C. So this could be, I don't know, pretty odd speakers. They don't look like they're made to be a pair, so that could have been a replacement. Either way, I suppose it didn't have Philips. Oh, this is probably the original Philips speaker, like the brand of the head unit. So I don't know, this could be a Philips. And this one is probably the replacement. No, this could have been, yeah, anyway. Most cars, probably a lot of the older cars, the radios would have been put on in Australia back then, so these would have been made in Australia, and this would have probably came separately with the car. Not even installed it here in Australia. So, yeah, either way, I'm going to try and repair the tears on this cone. I just sprayed some automotive interior contact adhesive spray. That seems to have helped it a bit, especially around the suspension here. As to this one, I'm going to try and, once this all sets, I'm going to waterlog this and just work in it with a screwdriver, the contour of the suspension here, to match it so it sticks and forms in place. So while that one is drying, I'll sit that in the sun there to dry, and I'll commence working on this one. Just cut the right size patches out, and I'll begin doing these tears here. So yeah. Okay, viewers, it doesn't look pretty, but what you do, you just dip that, soak it in for little patches that size anyway, little tears. Dip your little patch, soak it in, waterlog it, get rid of all the excess, and just press on with your finger carefully and let the glue run toward the edges. Then you get your other finger underneath the cone and press together to get the paper to bend and form in place, and that will curve the patch so it sits under the cone nicely. So this one is next. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do that suspension. Either way, you see the contact adhesive has formed a film over this crack and held it together. I don't know, I'm trying to get this thing restored as best I can. I did recap this in a long while ago, one of my earlier videos. This cassette deck does work, but there's no friction driving the can't overcome the momentum of the tape reel. So I'm going to have to investigate this some more. That also needs to be recapped. Sitting in that car that's been sitting in the sun, gets that hot, so over the 30 years it's probably been sitting in the sun, hasn't been good in those capacitors in that, so probably best to replace them. So yeah, let's get this patch going. Okay viewers, now what I'm going to try and do, the end of my finger net carefully and just very carefully touch up these cracks. And this glue should form a film over these cracks around the suspension and close them up. Silicon's probably the best to use. It's springy and it's rubbery. This stuff will just end up becoming stiff. Gotta get it to, yeah, it won't form a film now. It just sits in the valley of the suspension. I've got a tiny bit of it done. And there it's closed up. Do that little bit there, see what that does. There we go. There you go, a little film form there. So yeah, that's better than what it was. It just started to come off because I picked it up. There you go. Make sure you press that down, it should stay down. Hopefully by the time it's dry, this glue will have enough adhesive to it to, yeah, hold it together through the vibrations of the speaker. This is all just vibration fatigue that's done that. It's cracked away, and the sun probably doesn't help either. The grills, plastic grills over these speakers were brittle as all hell, so yeah. You see the holes over in the back, big tear there, big tear there, so seems to have worked. Might do the same with this one, get some silicone, just very carefully smear it all around and put a patch up here. So yeah, it's basically the technique here how you restore a speaker cone. Water and glue, and make your patch out of the same, just some thin black paper, as long as it's the same colour, and you're right. I'll do this next, but once it dries I'll try and fix it up. That's more of a challenge, to get the form values in the paper to match the suspension in that speaker, so it stretches easily with the rest of the cone and doesn't lock up and not fold and damage the rest of the speaker cone. The spiders down there are alright. They're a bit just dirty, that's all. They've still got plenty of springiness to it. This speaker, the voice coil is normally bottomed out, so looks like it's stuck fully retracted into the magnet, but that's just how it is. But yeah, despite that, all the bass I put through this, there's no clapping or bottoming out on the voice coil. It's just, yeah, it sounds pretty good. Yeah, just got to fix up these cracks in there. That should sound awesome. So yeah, this will probably be part 1. Part 2, I'll, yeah, once this is dry, I'll try and do these little holes up, neaten up this mess here, and yeah, try and see if I can get that suspension all done with the silicone. Then we'll give them a test. So yeah, thanks for watching.